the Hooked on Needles craftcast. My name is Marisela, or Mari if you prefer. Today is May 17th, 2019, and this is episode 40. I hope you're all doing well. It has been a little bit since my last video. Life has just gotten busy, and yeah, so I am here to show you guys what I have been up to. I do have quite a bit to show you. Let me start off with my knitted items. Just jumping right in. I finished up my okay, so my son lost one of his hats and came home and was so sad, and I got a little upset because I don't know how many hats he's lost now, but he's lost a couple of hats. And so at first I got upset and I was like, I can't believe you lost another hat. But at the same time, I was like, hold on a sec. If you lost a hat, I should make you another one. And why make him one when I can make him two? So that's what I did. I made two hats for him. And I love this. This yarn is so nice. It's a worsted weight. And this is the Fibra Natura yarn that I've gotten from Tuesday mornings. And then I used it for both of the brims. And this is the traveler's hat pattern that I've used before. I don't know how many times I've done it now, but yeah, so I used the traveler's hat for this one. And this colorful one, it's called Adria Fill. And I got it from Webs a couple years ago. Because I had gotten some from the yarn store that was closing down where I used to live, and I really liked it because of all the colors, because my son really likes colorful things, and so he really likes all of these. And these were the two last little balls that I had, so I used one for this and one for this. So yeah. And then the other one, I just made a 3x1 rib pattern because that is my favorite rib. I don't know why. So I just did that, and I went all the way up and just decreased. My decreases are not all that great, but they're not that bad either. So I think I did pretty good. I did not follow a pattern. I just did it. So yeah. I think it looks pretty good actually. So yeah, and I don't remember. I think I used size 4 needles or 3.75 millimeter needles. Yeah, I think so. And yeah, he loves them. He loves these hats. And then after I made the hats, he ended up finding the one he had lost at school. So yay! Now he's got more hats, which he loves. He loves wearing hats during the cold months, and sometimes even during the summer he'll just pop a hat on. I don't know why. He just does. And yeah. And then I finished these not too long after the last episode, but I haven't given them to my husband yet because I wanted to show them to you guys first. So I finished his socks. These are just a 3x1 rib again, all down the sock. And for this I used Peyton's Croy Woodsy. Okay, sorry. Peyton's Croy socks in the color Woodsy. And I used 2 50-gram balls, one for each sock. So as you can tell, they're not matching, but he didn't care. And he was making me laugh because when I tried them when I asked him to try them on for me so I could see if it was ready for the heels, he put them on and he was like, is it too soon to ask for another pair? And I was like, what? No, it's not too soon. But it was a little shocking to me because I had begged him for so long to let me make him socks and he just kept saying no. And he already asked for his second pair, so I'm really excited. I will be casting on, and I have a pattern in mind actually. Jimmy from the Hombre in Sheep's Clothing, I believe, is the podcast he has in English. He made a pair of business casual socks that he showed, and I thought those looked really nice. So I think I'm going to give those a try, and make those for my husband. And I think I might make them and give them to him for Christmas. I think that would be nice. He would be surprised. And yeah, so I'm excited. Pair of socks down. And then I needed something to work on because my daughter's been rehearsing for her quinceañera, and we sit there for a couple hours while they practice, and I need time to do something because just sitting there I'm like going crazy. So I made a pair of socks for me, plain vanilla socks. I used the color, this is the Cloudborn that I got from Blueprint. It's superwash wool in the Terrific colorway. And as you can see, it's self-striping, and I used Megan Williams OMG heel because that is the heel that I like. And I did go up a needle size for my heels. I've been doing that for all of the socks, even for my husband's. I went up a needle size just because I don't want to strain the yarn too much. And yeah, so these are done, and I'm actually going to put them on because I don't have socks on and the floor is cold. So I'm popping those on now. But yeah, so it did not take me too long to make these because they're vanilla and they're shorties, and I really like shorties because I just like to wear socks around the house. I don't like to be barefoot, so just having some nice little wool socks are always really nice. And then after I was finished with those socks, I cast on these socks, and again, they're vanilla socks. These are in the Cloudborn Superwash sock. Twist Tiny Stripes. It's the same as the other one. This one is Soul Music. And this is what I have left because I made another pair of shorties. They're not entirely finished. I still have to weave the ends in. And again, I OMG heel here. I went up to, I knit them in 2 millimeter needles. All my socks are 2 millimeter needles. Why does that sound weird saying millimeter? Anyways, all of my socks I knit on those. And then I go up to a 2.5 for the heels. So yeah, and I did end up going to Eat Sleep Knit, the yarn store in here in Georgia, because I've been using the Knitter's Pride needles that have the wooden middle and then metal tips, but I tend to be a tight knitter, and so I'm afraid I'm gonna break them. And so I went to look for some metal double point needles, and I found some. And so I got those, and I'm really happy about it because, they're Hayahayas, and I hadn't used Hayahayas yet, and they're really nice. They are very similar to the Chiaogus, but I have to say that I think I do prefer the Chiaogus a little bit better. That's just personal preference. The Hayahayas seem a little bit sharper, and to me the Chiaogus are sharp enough, so I don't think I really need anything sharper than those. But they are really nice to work with and very light. And I was actually explaining it to my cousin, which I will be changing the subject now because we got together at my sister's house, which they said was a Mother's Day celebration. And I was like, okay, great. Well, we can do that. What do you need me to bring? And they were like, oh, just, bring whatever. And I was like, okay. So we took, I don't even remember what I took, but I took something. And then we're sitting there, and the entire time I'm knitting because we're just sitting there chatting. And so knitting just, why not? So I was sitting there chatting or whatever. And then all of a sudden they bring out a cake because my birthday happened to be the week before Mother's Day, like that week of. So they bring out the cake, and the whole time I'm knitting. And so they're like singing to me and everything, and the whole time I'm knitting. And then, I'm about to blow the candle out. And then my husband very, very kindly puts his hand on my hands and goes, do you think you can put it down? And I was like, yeah, I can do that. Sorry. And everybody was just laughing because they were like, even when we're like celebrating you're knitting. I'm like, I'm sorry. My hands just didn't want to stop. Like, I wasn't doing it intentionally or trying to be rude or anything, but it's just what happened. And I just thought it was hilarious because like now he's like, you think you can put it down? I was like, yeah. So now that's the joke where he's like, do you think you can put it down? And I'll tell him like, do you think you can put it down for a sec? And anyway, so thank you to my sisters because they got me a delicious cake, and then we had some family there too, so it was really nice. But I was talking to my cousin because I was knitting, and he was like, oh, what are those? And so I showed him the Hayahayas, and he was like, oh, I've never seen that. Like, he's used to seeing the straight needles, with the little thing at the end, to the stop at the end so that the yarn doesn't fall off or the stitches don't fall off. And he's like, oh, well, that's different. And then I was knitting on my 9-inch circulars, and he was like, oh, you can use those tiny things? And I was like, yeah. And so I was explaining to him, and I was like, well, you feel them, like they're very light. You don't, because he was asking if they were hard on my hands, like if they hurt my hands. And I was like, not at all. Like, you can't, like, they're very light. And so I was like, because they're metal, I feel like they're a little bit lighter. And so I had him hold them and everything. And he's like, oh yeah, that's really nice. So yeah, so I was explaining that to him. And I do like wooden needles, but I feel like metal needles, just the way that I knit, it just tends to go a little bit faster. Although I have been using wooden needles because my son, I was trying to teach him how to knit, and I've tried to show him how to crochet and make a chain or whatever, and he enjoyed doing the crochet a little bit, but not so much. And then the knitting, he got a lot faster. And yesterday I was like, so what do you think? Did you like crochet or knitting better? And he was like, oh, definitely the one with the rows. Which one is that? And I was like, oh, that one's knitting. He's like, yeah, that one seems easier. I was like, okay. So hopefully he will become a knitter, but if not, that's okay. But I just needed him, I wanted him to try something because I feel like it would be good for him with his what's it called? Eye-hand coordination stuff. So anyways, that was that little off to the side thing. Anyway, so I did finish this other pair of socks, and I just have to weave in the ends. And then, well, actually, before those that I showed you just now, I finished these, which these are the Drippity Drops socks from Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. I have made a pair of these before, and I made another one because when I got Megan's yarn from Toe Creations, I just couldn't, like, I couldn't wait to get my hands on her yarn, and so, like, you know, actually use the yarn. And so I used it. So this is her label, and this is the Frostbite colorway in the footsie base. And it's really nice to work with. I really enjoyed it, and I wanted to see if in the lighter color the stitch could be appreciated a little bit more, because in the other pair I made, I used a darker colored yarn, and so I feel like this one you can see them better, and I really like them. And again, not too long because I don't like super long socks. And here they are, and they are lovely, and the pattern does include her umbrella toe, so it's not the like regular toe or whatever, and these are cuff down. So yeah, but anyway, so I have another pair done, and now that's all the knitting. Okay, now moving on to crochet. Oh, sorry, my nose itches. I ended up making another mandala because I forgot to make one for one of the families in our little cul-de-sac, and so I needed to make one for them. And well, I didn't need to, but I wanted to. I wanted to make them one. So I took a pattern from the Mandalas to Crochet book, which I have shown you guys before. I ended up finally getting my own copy because the one that I had was my friend's, and she was just kind and let me borrow it. So I finally got my own copy, which means she can get hers back. And so I made this one, which is called Tulips from Amsterdam. It is on page 72 of the book. And a viewer did comment that they ended up getting the book after I had shown it to them, or to you guys, and they are really enjoying it. And I think that is great because it's so nice to share stuff so that, you know, you guys feel happy and relaxed when you make it. And so this is a great book if you just want to do something, you're not sure what project to make. I feel like they're very much like a dishcloth or something small, you know, that you can just kind of do and end up with this beautiful thing at the end. So anyways, that's my little thing about that. And then I was really bored, and I wasn't sure what to do because even though I have projects on the needles, I just didn't want to pick them up. I don't know why. I just wasn't feeling like knitting. And so I made a little turtle, and I had made a turtle before from a video on YouTube, but I didn't like it so much because of the head. I felt like the head was too long on that pattern. So I just kind of made up my own, and I really liked the way it came out. And I just used scraps. I used Red Heart Super Saver scraps, and I named her Nance. She does have a pink shell, And my husband and my son were giving me such a hard time about it that turtles don't have pink shells. But I was like, yeah, but I'm the creator, therefore I can give it whatever shell color I want. And I want it to be pink, so there. But they were bugging me enough that I decided to make another one with a more color appropriate shell for them. And so this is Lance. And so Nance and Lance are the little turtles, and they can dance. Okay, anyways, that is what I made, these two little things. And then because I was on a kick of amigurumis, Ashley of Ash Love Makes podcast had shown me a amigurumi designer called Amigurumis, which I'll put the name on here. And I went to her blog, and she's got some free patterns and paid for patterns, but this one, this year 2019 is the year of the pig. And so she put out a pattern of this little pig called Nobu, and here he is. He is adorable. I used Red Heart Super Saver, both colors, and this is a crazy bright pink and this is a lighter pink, but I think he came out adorable. He does have a little tail, although I didn't follow the pattern for his tail. I just chained up and then like tightened it back up. I don't even know how I got it to like curl up a little bit, but I did. And yeah, so this is Nobu, and he is adorable. So I made him. And then there is a Instagram person that I follow called Make a Paper Boat, and she has the cutest little things. And so she posted this on her Instagram, and I had to have them. So I went over to her YouTube channel because she has one, and made these cute little guys, and I love them so much. They are stinking cute. Look at that little pencil and paper. So she said that she made it so that it could be like a best friend gift, you know, one person gets one item and the other one the other, and together they complete each other type thing. And so my daughter is gonna keep one, and the other one will be going to California to her best friend because she moved. And yeah, but I think they are so adorable. The pencil doesn't take that long to make, but the paper does because of all of the embroidery things you have to do. I did use embroidery thread and safety eyes, and yeah, it's really cute. I love it, and they are little keychains. So yeah, that is another thing I made. And then one of my friends asked if I could make a pattern, a little bunny pattern that her sister-in-law had shown her, because her sister-in-law is expecting and really liked this pattern. And so of course I said, yeah, I can do it. And so this is a pattern from Once Upon a Cheerio. I will put links. And I made this little bunny, which if you can do it, like if you need one of these in your life, just because it's so adorable. Like, I love amigurumis. I don't know how to tell you guys. Like, I'm pretty sure you can tell because I usually have an amigurumi to show you just because I'm totally obsessed, but it's fine. So I made this cute little amigurumi. It is a bunny. And this is Red Heart Super Saver for the hoodie, and the bunny is in I Love This yarn in their white color. I don't know the color, the name of the blue, because I just had like a little ball of it, and I'm surprised that I had enough to make the thing. But yeah, so it's really nice, easy pattern. I think it's adorable. I will for sure be making more. But yeah, so that's the one. And I made this one. I used the same size hook for them. I used a 3.5, I believe. I don't know if I wrote it down. No, I didn't. I think it was a 3.5. It might have been a 4, but I doubt it. I think it was 3.5. Anyways, I used the same hook for it, and she had sent me a color card with it, showing the color she wanted, and this is more the color that she wanted. But this is cotton. This is the Sinfonia cotton. And I used it double-stranded. Like I said, I think I used either a 3.5 millimeter or a 4 millimeter hook. But anyways, so yeah. This one came out slightly bigger than the one. This is just acrylic, and so I'm gonna show my friend both of them, and whichever one she wants to take, she will take. But yeah, I think I prefer using the acrylic to the cotton, just because, since, like, had I used the cotton single-stranded and the hook that it recommended, I would have ended up with like maybe this big of a bunny, and I wanted it to be a little bit bigger, so that's why I did that. But yeah, I think I like working with the acrylic a little bit more. But yeah, they're both really nice. It's the exact same pattern, like I said, just this one's slightly bigger. So she will get to choose which one she wants. I was supposed to take them to her last week, and I just completely forgot. But you know, c'est la vie. I also made this little bear. It is a pattern off of Amigurumi Today, and it is called the Cuddle Me Bear. For this, I used yarn that I hadn't used before. I've used the brand before, but not that specific yarn, which was the Soft Bee from Hobby Lobby, in their baby weight yarn. So it was very thin. I used a 2 millimeter hook for this, which that is tiny for me. I don't really like to go below a 3 millimeter hook. So yeah. Anyway, so I made this. It's adorable. I do feel like it took longer because the stitches are so small, but at the end it was worth it because it is adorable. And then finally, nope, not finally, one more thing, sorry, one more thing. I have this little plant. It's a heart plant. This is a pattern from, I think it's called Yarn Blossom Boutique. Yes, it is. I don't have the pattern with me, but I will put links to everything. And so she has this pattern out. The pattern also has leaves and asks that you use a wooden thing for the stem. But my sister, one of my sisters, was saying that I should make something that people can use, something useful. And so I turned it into a pen. I just used a pen and wrapped it with this green tape thing. I don't think she meant it with bad intentions, like her saying it, but the way I took it, I did not take it well, that she said make something useful. because I feel like she was missing the whole point of amigurumis. They're not there to be useful. They're there to be cute and bring smiles to you, bring you joy. So yeah, but anyways, that's just the way I was feeling. So anyways, I will give this to her. I meant to give it to her for Mother's Day, but I forgot it. So she will get it sometime, so she can have a useful pen. That's a heart. And then now finally, I have seen this video a couple times on YouTube pop up. And I have like let the video play, and I've tried to watch it a couple times. It is in German, but it has English subtitles, so you could make it if you wanted. I have been wanting to make it for a while now, and I finally was like, okay, today's the day, and I just decided to do it. And I made this little thing. It's a little sheep. We named her Lily, and I used Pound of Love. I don't remember who makes that, but I used Pound of Love for the face and limbs and the inner ear, and then I used Red Heart Super Saver for the fleece. And I did not fill them up. The pattern says to fill up the limbs, but I did not want to do that because then it would have stiffened the limbs, and this yarn is pretty sturdy on its own, so I didn't really want to do that. So I just put enough filling to fill in the very tips, like where, yeah, like the little balls of, you know, what would be, what do they have, hoofs? Anyways, and then the rest of it is just empty. It's just the yarn. But yeah, she is so adorable. I love her so much. I was just so happy when I finally made her, and I was just like holding her because I'm like, you're so cute. And yeah, my sister asked for one because she loved it so much. So I will be making one for my sister. She wants it the same as Lily, but I'm not sure if that will happen or not. And also her daughter, her stepdaughter asked for one. So I just think it's so funny. Like, yeah, I'll be making these. So I may make the one for her stepdaughter for Christmas, and that could be her Christmas gift. But yeah, so I will be making some more lilies, and I love it. I think she is so cute. So yeah. And also in the video, she makes, like, this is a cap. So you make the face and then you put the cap on. She doesn't sew the cap on. She just like puts it on it. But I did sew it on just because I felt better doing that. I felt better just making sure that it was secure and everything. So I did, that was something that I did that the video doesn't show. But yeah, and it was very, it was nice. I really enjoyed making it, and I'm glad I have a little sheep now. So yeah. And that is all I have for finished objects. I have just a couple things in progress. I did start on the socks called Radiant Love Socks by Miss Megan Williams. And you guys voted for these, so thank you guys so much for your input. I am using the remainder of the Terrific color that I used for my socks, my shorty socks. And then I'm also using the magenta color, and these are Cloudborne's Merino Superwash Sock Twist. that one, that's the solid, and then the stripe one is the sock twist tiny stripes. And I don't have much progress on these because I tried making them like 3 or 4 times. I don't remember now, but it was a couple of times where I attempted to make them and I just failed miserably because I miscounted and had to restart them. So I'm definitely dragging on these, but I am also making them 2 at a time because that way, since I do have to follow the chart, or they do have it in word written out too, but it's up to you, whatever you want to do. I just feel like 2 at a time is better for this type of pattern. And this is actually mosaic knitting. It is not it's not color work like Fair Isle. It's not Fair Isle, it is mosaic, and so you're only working with one color at a time, which is why you get the stripes down here, because you just knit after you're done with that pattern. So but I am loving them. I think they are looking great. I am just not really moving too much on them, like at all. But they are on the needles, which hopefully they will have some progress, but I have not touched them in a while. And then I did make a little bit of progress on this one, and this is the scarf that I'm making for my sister-in-law. I think I was like down here last time, and now I'm up here. That's where my join is. Hopefully once it's done, it will end up on the side and it won't be too noticeable. But as you can see right there, this is much looser in the gauge than this down here, but that's because this has Fair Isle and this does not, although it doesn't seem that bad on the blue side for some reason. But on the yellow, I feel like you can really tell. So I was trying my hardest to keep a consistent gauge, but oh well. Hopefully once I wash it, it will kind of get better. But I'm not going to redo this part. Like, it's just going to have to stay that way. But yeah, I did work on this one a little bit. And I don't know what pattern that is. I forgot what the name of the pattern is. And then because I was finished with these, like all I have to do is weave the ends in, I decided to cast on another pair. And so, oh, sorry, I got my nose itchy. And so I did, and I wanted something easy but yet interesting, not like super hard like the other socks. So I cast on some pixel socks, which I made a pair for my aunt last year, and I really wanted to make some for myself, and so these are it. And again, I am using Cloudborne Merino Superwash Sock Twist. For the blue is Lagoon, and it's this beautiful blue. It's so beautiful. I love it. It's very, very nice. And surprisingly, it goes really well with the other color, which I don't know the name of this one. I will have to write it down for you guys. It has something to do with souls, I think. I don't remember. But it's this striped purples, and I am knitting them on my 9-inch circulars. Here is where they are so far. So not much progress, but it is easier to it is a little bit easier to work than the other ones, like I said. And yeah, it's nice from just vanilla socks. Although since I did get quite a few striped yarns from Blueprint, I feel like I wouldn't get too bored with them anyways. But yeah. And I think that's it for works in progress. I don't have much. I was really busy this week. I meant to record earlier, but I just didn't have time. I volunteered at my son's school for the book fair, and so I was there Monday through Wednesday. And then next week, I'm also going to have to go shopping for the last, like the end of year party for his class. And I have to go do that stuff. So I'm gonna be busy next week. So I was like, today is the day. But anyways, I wanted to show you 2 new things that I have since last time. This is, well, besides the Haya needles, after last episode, Megan of Toe Creations contacted me and asked if I would be interested in doing a swap, and because she liked my bags, and I was like, yeah, but also a little bit like, but why do you want one of my bags? Because I don't have much confidence in myself. So it's not like I'm complaining about it or feel sorry for me, not at all. I'm just letting you know that is just the way that I am, and that's okay. But anyway, so I was like, sure, we can do that. And so she asked if there was a color that I liked, and as I mentioned, husband had already asked for a second pair of socks. And so when she showed her new colors, there was one that really stood out that I thought would be perfect for my husband. And so I asked her if I could please get this yarn, and this is the Rugged Cowboy colorway. It is a 75-25% blend. It's 75 merino, 25 nylon. There are 437 yards in here, and it is a striping yarn. And I am hoping to use this for the business casual socks that I mentioned before. So I hope that it turns out well. I'm really excited. Now that I have shown it to you, I can cast it on, hopefully soon. And then the other thing is, when I went to eat, sleep, knit, I went to get the needles, and I was like, well, it was my birthday. I could get one skein of yarn. And so I did, and I really enjoyed working with their yarn before. And so I got another one of their yarn, and this is String Theory Inertia, and it is 80% merino, 20% nylon. There are 400 yards in here. It is a plushier yarn. Oh no, Megan's is pretty plushy too. Okay, so they're about the same. But this is also a self-striping yarn, and this is the color Cassini. I hope I'm saying that right. And it tells you how many stripes of each. So yeah, this is what I got. I was a little surprised because I'm not much of a pink gal, but I thought these were really, really nice together. Like, those are really amazing colors. So yeah, I'm excited. And this says it's pink orchid, and I do love orchids. Orchids are my favorite flower. So yeah. But that's it. So I am a happy camper with all of this stuff, my finished objects and stuff I'm working on. So yeah, I don't know when I will have time to do a video again during summer. I don't put out videos much because the kids are out of school and all of this stuff. So it just makes it a little bit harder. But I think we are going to go visit husband. So hopefully I'll have some time. I'll be able to like get him to take them out for like to the park or something. Because when we went to visit him, I don't remember if I said this, but there's a park nearby where he is staying right now, and it has a lake and a like walking trail, and it's really nice. So maybe I can get them to go over there while I record a podcast when we go visit him during the summer. Those are my plans, you guys. But yeah, but I'm really excited to finish some of those socks. I really want to make a good bit of progress in my sock collection, and I was really happy that husband asked for another pair. So I will be so happy to start his second pair, and hopefully he will ask for another one. Although they do take a little bit longer because he's got a bigger foot, but that's okay. It just means more knitting time. And yeah, so I'm really happy. Thank you so much for to all of you for coming back. I really appreciate it. And if you are a new viewer and you decide that you like the podcast, then please give me a thumbs up and subscribe and ring the bell for, you know, notifications. I really appreciate you guys, and please take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your May, and hasta la próxima.